In a forest, where ancient trees whispered tales to the wind, stood a young sapling, vibrant and full of dreams. It looked up at the towering giants, their branches tickling the clouds, and felt a surge of impatience. "I want to be like them," it thought, stretching its small leaves towards the sun. "I want to touch the sky, feel the vastness of the world from above. Why must I stay so close to the ground?" Every day, the sapling would strain, trying to grow taller, faster. It saw the birds nesting in the high branches of the older trees, watched the squirrels leap from limb to limb, and yearned for that same freedom, that same perspective. The world from down below felt so limited, so small. The elder trees seemed to stand so effortlessly, so majestically, unaware of the young one's struggle. The sapling's impatience grew with each sunrise, a restless energy buzzing in its very core. It felt trapped by its own smallness, convinced that true life only began once it reached the canopy. It didn't understand the slow, quiet rhythm of the forest, the unseen processes that gave the giants their strength. All it knew was the burning desire to rise. One morning, as a gentle breeze rustled its leaves, the young tree cried out in frustration. Its voice, a mere whisper against the ancient sounds of the forest. "Why must I wait so long? What is the secret to reaching the sky?" Swirled around its slender trunk and answered softly, "To grow tall, you must first grow deep. The sky is won not by reaching, but by rooting. Your roots must speak first." The sapling was puzzled. Roots, they were hidden, buried in the dark, silent earth. What could they possibly have to say? It had been so focused on looking up that it had completely forgotten about the world beneath. The wind's words echoed in the silence, planting a new kind of seed in the sapling's mind. It was a strange idea to find answers in the unseen, to seek wisdom in the quiet darkness of the soil. How could strength come from something so still, so hidden from the sun? The wind continued its journey, leaving the young tree to ponder this cryptic advice. The sky, it had said, was won by rooting. The message was clear, yet mysterious. The journey upward begins by going downward. For the first time, sapling stopped straining towards the light and turned its attention to the ground beneath it, wondering what stories the earth held and what it meant for its roots to speak. So, the young tree began to listen. It silenced its own desperate longing for height and tuned into the subtle language of the soil. It was a world teeming with life it had never noticed before. It listened to the tireless burrowing of the worms, aerating the earth, creating pathways for air and water. It felt the gentle patter of raindrops as they seeped deep into the ground, carrying life-giving moisture to its nascent roots. It even listened to the profound, heavy silence between the rains. A silence that wasn't empty, but full of the slow, powerful process of decomposition as fallen leaves returned their nutrients to the earth. This subterranean world was a symphony of quiet, diligent work. There were no grand gestures, no cries for attention. The worms didn't announce their digging, nor did the water boast of its quenching power. Each element played its part in a silent, coordinated dance of creation and support. The sapling learned from the microbes breaking down matter, from the stones that offered steadfast anchors, and from the network of fungal threads that connected it to its neighbors. It realized that the ground was not just dirt, but a living, breathing community, a foundation of immense strength and resilience, all working together in quiet harmony. With each new sound, each new sensation from below, the young tree felt a change within itself. The voice of the worm taught it about persistence, the steady, unglamorous work that creates fertile ground for growth. The voice of the raindrops taught it about receiving, about absorbing the nourishment that the world offers freely. The voice of the silence taught it about the quiet, unseen strength that holds everything up. Each voice, in its own way, taught the tree that true strength wasn't loud or flashy. It wasn't about the dramatic reach for the sky, but about the patient, deliberate expansion of its roots deep into the earth. It learned that strength was in the grip of its roots, holding firm against the wind. It was in the ability to draw water from deep within the soil during a dry spell. It was in the quiet resilience that allowed it to weather the changing seasons without breaking. The sapling understood that the grand canopy it so admired was merely the visible expression of an invisible, powerful network below. The noise of ambition and impatience faded, replaced by a quiet confidence. It no longer measured its progress by how much it grew in a day, but by how much deeper its connection to the earth became. Growth was no longer a race, but a relationship. Years passed, seasons turned, and the forest continued its ancient rhythm. The young tree, now no longer a sapling, had grown tall and strong. Its branches reached high into the sky, offering a perch for birds and a playground for squirrels, just as it had once dreamed. But its greatest pride was not its height. It was the cool, generous shade it now cast upon the forest floor. Beneath its boughs, new saplings were sprouting, sheltered from the harshest sun, protected from the strongest winds. It had risen tall enough not just for itself, but to nurture the next generation. The tree looked down at the young saplings, seeing its own youthful impatience reflected in their eager leaves. It felt their yearning to touch the sky and smiled, a rustle of leaves that sounded like a knowing laugh. It understood now that its journey had not been about reaching a destination, but about becoming a source of shelter and strength for others. Its height was a responsibility, a gift to be shared. The true measure of its growth was not how close it got to the sky, but how much life it could support beneath it. It had become part of the great cycle of the forest, a guardian, a provider. Looking back, the tree finally understood the wind's wisdom. Patience wasn't just idly waiting for time to pass. It wasn't a pause in its ambition. Patience was the act of listening, of learning, of building. It was the time spent strengthening its roots, understanding the world beneath it, and gathering the silent power of the earth. It was listening long enough and deep enough to grow, not just tall, but strong. Waiting was an active, essential part of its becoming. It wasn't a delay, it was the entire process. The height was just the beautiful, inevitable result of that deep, patient listening. This story teaches us a valuable lesson, especially when learning something new, like English. We often want to speak fluently right away, to reach for the sky without building a foundation. But true mastery comes from listening first. Listen to the sounds, the rhythms, the stories. Let the language seep into you, like rain into the soil. Build your roots with vocabulary and grammar. Before you rise to speak with confidence, take the time to listen. Learn English with stories. Listen before you rise. Thanks so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content that helps you grow. We'll see you in the next video.